Hi, Cleveland County. It's a beautiful sunny day in our beloved county, and we're here with Linda Lane, who is a farmer of lots of things. She has chickens and pigs and pigs. That's why we're here. My name is Deborah Blanton. I am the host of your show, and I want to do a disclaimer. This is a shout out to Susan Allen. Because, Susan, we're talking about pigs, and we're going to eat pigs. And I know you love barbecue, but we got to start at the beginning, girl. So here we go. Linda, tell us about pig farming.
Well, pig farming is a lot of work, and I really appreciate Green Family Farm, Sherry and Derek, for allowing me to capture what they do on their farm. And as we try to build up our little pig empire, we also have some of their pigs that we got as piglets. So we've been trying to combine both worlds of birth or farrowing and raising pork, but we decided to go with just raising the pork for people to eat.
So, in other words, you are giving the people that raise the pigs, farrow is a good term, that means birthing of pigs.
Yes, ma'am.
You give them an opportunity to raise their pigs, and then you buy them
As
and
piglets.
as
Yes,
piglets and feed them out.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And what sorts of feed do you give them? I'm sure we're going to see some.
Well, we get our pig mash. It's ground up different grains and other feed products that pigs eat, but we get it ground up so they can eat it better. And we integrate whole kernel corn. And in a minute, we'll show you. Sometimes they are just as vegetarian as we are, as we give them kale, apples, bananas, collards, other fresh produce, fruit, depending on what's in season. Sometimes, last year we were getting our apples from Knob Creek.
Yes.
They were the ones that they labeled deer apples. So when my husband wanted deer apples to feed the deer, we started getting apples for the pigs, apples for the cattle, apples for the chickens. So it's just gone back into, let's see what we can do to better the food. So, the old saying, you are what your food eats. So we're trying to give them as much good food as possible and not just the mash. Now our pork is not gluten-free. Our cattle are, but the pork is not.
Okay. Well, and speaking of pork meat, you sell many different kinds of cuts of meat, right?
Yes, ma'am. We'll do, usually a pig will have 2 tenderloins. You'll have the barbecue ribs if you do no pork chops, or you don't get the baby back ribs. If you keep the pork chops, you'll have the spare ribs, but we have ours cut into St. Louis style, so it's just a bigger version of what the baby back rib looks like.
Okay.
We get pork butts. We don't usually do the hams because they're a little expensive than what the store has at $1.49 a pound.
So what do you do with the ham meat?
We integrate it into our sausage.
Very good.
When we get a lot of sausage, like this next pig coming up, we will have ham slices. So they're a 1/2 inch thick, and they'll be like a steak on your cast iron or skillet pan.
All right, now next question. Are the folks out here who love pork, and I know Susan does, so she's going to look over all of this. But how can they buy this food from you, this meat from you?
Well, we are at the farmers market right now on second Saturdays for February and March. Hopefully our season isn't going to be handcuffed by COVID again, and we'll open up in early April on the Saturdays. By Memorial Day weekend, we should be open on Wednesdays. But if you know me or know somebody who gets my meat, I'm happy to deliver it to your office or your house, or you can come for a farm visit bring your kids because you get to see the pigs and the other critters on the farm.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much, Linda. And of course, you have your chickens up there on top of the hill.
Yes, ma'am.
And they're such fun things to look at.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Plus, you've made so many improvements in the farm. This fenced area looks great. You have your, what do you call that thing over there?
Well, we have the front pasture, and this is where we actually move the cattle when we move one out. And then up on the hill, we have our
Greenhouse.
greenhouse,
There we go.
our high tunnel.
So you've done so much improving around here. It's just wonderful. Plus, you're able to provide more different vegetables and foods to your customers.
Yes, ma'am.
And I believe you deliver eggs. Am I
Yes,
sure
ma'am.
of that?
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
okay.
I just came back from major delivery before you got here.
Right.
Since we're not in season full time at the market.
Right. Well, that's just an extra added benefit.
Right.
Linda, I can't thank you enough. Woohoo! We're going to get some shots of the pigs.
All right.
And remember, one of those is what you're going to be eating. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Deborah.
Stay tuned, of course, because we're going to be talking to Nancy Abasi-Ekong about why pork is so good for you.
Hi, I'm Chris Sheevely, and I'm your host for Your Information. I hope you'll join us each month as we delve into the wonderful world of animals. On For Your Information, we talk with local experts about the best way to care for our furry friends. Plus, some of our guests may even be available for adoption and looking for their forever home. So whether your passion is for dogs, cats, or whatever, I hope you will join me for the fun. That's For Your Information, only on C19 TV and online at c19.tv.
Yeti Baseball is here. Our players are raring to go and swing for the fences. But Yeti Athletics isn't all that's great about Cleveland Community College. We offer a wide variety of programs for students of all ages. We'll help you train for a new job, gain more skills for a promotion, or get a head start on college credits. We know students learn in different ways. That's why we offer online and in-person classes. CCC, we can help you move forward safely. Visit clevelandcc.edu today and go Yetis.
Hi, I'm Nikki Bliss Carroll, your host for Cleveland Connections, the show that explores what's happening at Cleveland Community College. Join us as we sit down with members of faculty and staff to discuss programs of study, upcoming events, and other exciting campus news. We'll have a new show for you each month on C19 TV, or you can stream us online at c19.tv. Tune in and connect with Cleveland Community College on Cleveland Connections.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. We're in Uptown Shelby, Greenbrook Design up on North Lafayette Street. And you're going to be able to see some scenes here in the other part of the store. That's why we've changed situations, Nancy.
Yes.
Here with Nancy Abasi-Ekong, and we're talking pork. But we've already talked pork this year, so we know it's a good, it gives us good nutrients, and there are lots of reasons to eat it, but we're going to dwell on the cuts of pork, because, you know, the pork's this big and this wide and this tall, and there's a lot of meat in
A
that
lot
thing.
of meat there, that's right.
So, Nancy, carry on.
Okay, well, pork is a good topic, whether it is here during the winter, spring, going into spring, or summer, you know, because it's so versatile. And we can cook pork in our slow cooker or our pressure cookers, our electric pressure cookers. We can cook it on the grill. We can saute it. We can marinate it or not. We don't have to, but we can. Lots of flavorful marinades. So it's a very versatile and, as we know, nutritious
Right.
protein.
And I just have to get out bacon. Bacon.
Bacon, yes. And I did look up something on bacon. It is growing, as we all know, in popularity.
Yes, I would think
And
so.
it's one of those occasional things. Bacon comes from the belly, the pork belly, and
Okay.
it has, of course, the fat and a little bit of lean there. But such good flavor,
Oh, yes.
and it enhances lots of different things. So bacon is one of those extras.
But now, of course, we're talking now with bones, because all the meat's muscle around a bone, and we have a lot of cuts with bone, like a pork chop.
Yes, like a pork chop. And
Or
one-
like a crown roast. Excuse me for interrupting, but that's what we're featuring with the chef this month, is the crown pork loin roast.
Yes, and if you are wanting to do a crown roast, pork roast, you may have to ask your butcher ahead of time about that, because it is not a cut that you will generally find in the meat case.
Right.
Certainly not here in Cleveland County. Now,
Right.
you may in some other areas.
Right.
It might be a standard piece, but talk with your butcher, make arrangements for that, and you might even want to ask your butcher to French the pork, the ends of the chops. Because a crown roast, of course, is the loin, very lean, and it will
And
usually...
the loin, is that like the rib cage?
It is, and we are going to be able to point you to a chart from the National Pork Board that shows
your
the different
website.
cuts, and that'll be on our Cleveland County Cleveland
Yes.
County Kitchen website.
Right.
But yes, and with that you will tie if you're doing a crown roast, then you will tie those ribs together.
Yeah, to make it like
make it
like
into a circle, like a
queen's
crown.
crown. Yes.
Very much like
Yes,
a crown.
yes.
But you
And-
can cook the roast without doing that if it is not sized, if it's too large, or time or whatever.
Right.
You can use that same cut and cook it as just a pork loin roast.
Roast. Oh, that's
just
good.
straight as a loin
Right,
roast.
right. Well, in fact, of course, I think that's what we're going to be doing today. So,
Right.
Yes, yes,
And I'm
yes.
sure Tommy will be telling us some of the other things that we may need to check with if you're planning that, how
Right.
to set that up with your
Right.
butcher.
Let's talk about hams. Where do they come from?
Well, the ham, you can have the butt
Okay.
or the shank end of the ham.
Okay.
And of
so
course
that's the rear end of the hog, and then down.
And down the-
down
the leg.
Down the
Uh-huh.
leg. Okay.
So, and you might often find them, of course, they can be fresh and you cook it entirely, or pre-cooked, spiral sliced,
Right.
or whole.
Right.
If you buy a whole ham, you may want to cut it in half, and then you have, both of those ends. You have the butt end and you have the shank
Oh,
end.
of course, of course.
So,
And,
lots of meat there.
Right,
you know,
right.
for-
And then, of course, with all the other cuts out of the whole hog, there are people that still eat the head of the hog. Now, I don't know how
I don't know
often they do
exactly.
that, yeah. But, and even, we'll talk the brains. I think they eat pork
Right,
brains.
they may,
Scramble
yes.
them with eggs.
I have heard of that, but
All
I have
that?
not looked up anything on that,
Well,
and
no,
I
you
did
didn't
not
have to.
find anything on that. But specialty things like that,
Yes.
which might be cultural, or it might be
Right.
with different locales,
Right.
different customs and so forth. We know that we eat differently in different regions. of the state and the country, and so forth. And pork is the most commonly used meat in the world. So
I did not
lots
know
of people eat pork.
Yes.
And
One other thing, hog jowls
yes,
with collards and black-eyed peas on New Year's
that's
Day.
our New Year's Day.
New Year's
That's
Day,
right. That gets us
yes.
started off with pork from day one.
Right.
With pork
Oh,
from
day one. I love it. Well,
Now-
stand by, folks. Nancy, I want to thank you. Is
May
there
I
one
just say
pressing
one last thing?
Yes.
Is that USDA has identified 8 cuts of pork that are lean.
that are lean,
lean,
yes.
and these would be equal to skinless, boneless chicken breast. So these will be identified, and you would be looking at the chops and the roast and the loin
Okay.
section for that. If the word says chop or loin, that's your key that it's lean.
Final word, other white meat.
Other white
Other
meat.
white meat. Stay tuned. Thanks, Nancy. Stay
Yes.
tuned. Tommy will be coming up cooking our semi-crown pork roast.
Hi, I'm Jill Nolan, your host for Woman to Woman, a show that is about women and for women. Each month, we feature guests that highlight topics that focus on self-care, health, and well-being, and a variety of other topics for women young and well-seasoned here in Cleveland County. Join us each month on Woman to Woman here at C19 TV, a broadcast service of Cleveland Community College.
Listen up. Do you have a passion for cooking? A desire to learn more about the craft of professional food preparation? If so, now's a great time to check out Cleveland Community College's brand new Culinary Arts Academy. This exciting 3-month program offers hands-on training for jobs in the food service industry. Across the nation, food service is one of the fastest growing industries. With your training at CCC's Culinary Arts Academy, you can compete for jobs in hotels, restaurants, conference centers, cruise ships, and other settings. Enroll in CCC's program and you'll gain in-depth training in food procedures, preparation, and commercial kitchen operations. Plus, the program includes a special add-on. You'll get your certificate in cardiopulmonary resuscitation or CPR training. You can earn good money too. Depending on where you work, starting salaries range from $20,000 to $50,000. In just 12 weeks, you can be well on your way to gaining the know-how to handle food safely, properly, as a true professional. Now ask yourself, are you ready to start your journey today at CCC?
Hey Jen, does your home have natural gas from the city of Shelby?
I'm not sure, Chris. You do realize I'm just a kid, right?
Right, you're what, like 6 years old now?
6.5, Chris.
Okay. Well, did you know that the city of Shelby's been providing natural gas to homes in Cleveland County since?
1955. Yeah, I knew that.
Did you also know that natural gas is...
Safe.
Yeah, did you know natural gas is...
Affordable. Yeah, I knew that too.
Wow, you sure know an awful lot about natural gas to be a kid.
Hey, I may be a kid, but I'm pretty smart to be.
6 years old?
6.5, Chris.
For more information on the benefits of natural gas, visit cityofshelby.com and discover all the ways natural gas is working for you today.
Safe, affordable natural gas from the city of Shelby, making the
Way we live even better.
You have got to stop doing that.
Welcome back, Cleveland County. I hope you're getting your appetite ready because we have Tommy Green in Greenbrook Design Kitchen. Again, this is the part that you're most familiar because this is where a lot of the action happens. So, we're working with pork, Tommy, and our desire, because Easter is coming up next month, like early in April, and we wanted to do a crown pork roast.
Right.
Well, things didn't work out quite the way we wanted with the prep, which is the meat we're fixing. The bones should have been shorter.
Right.
And we were going to curve it around. I think Nancy gave a great description. And of course, with this recipe that you'll get on the webpage, we put the stuffing in the middle of this crown. Is that the idea?
Yes.
What a presentation. But since we're not going to be able to do that as much as we had wanted, Tommy is going to show you, though, how to prepare this pork loin roast with the ribs on that look like the queen, a crown of a queen.
Right.
It's all yours, Tommy.
Okay. The first thing we do is overnight, refrigerate it overnight, but first we put the olive oil on it and then the spices.
Okay, okay. And he has a special olive oil that he's always used. It's called ZOE. Can you get that here in Cleveland County?
No.
Okay.
I get it at Fresh Market in Spartanburg.
Okay.
Then we start with
And
sugar.
so you've wiped it on.
I've
Okay.
wiped the meat with olive oil.
Okay.
Then we
Now,
o-
I don't know if you watched this canister, which is a part of the Greenbrook Design Kitchen. It's a ready seal. You press the top. Woo! Fabulous.
We're using 1 tablespoon or teaspoon of sugar,
Okay.
1 teaspoon of salt, and I use kosher salt.
Right.
Then 1 teaspoon of thyme,
Okay.
and it is dried thyme.
Okay.
And then
Really, you can just shake it in, kind of whatever your tastes desire. Is
Right.
that right?
then 1 teaspoon of sage,
Okay.
and then a half teaspoon
Well, just shake it in there, Tom.
of black pepper.
Oh, yeah. Good
Then-
job.
Then we mix that up and then put it on the meat.
Okay.
And remember, you want to do this and let it sit refrigerated overnight before you bake it.
Oh, with the olive oil and the spices on it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, will you leave it in a crown in the refrigerator? Will you leave it in formation?
Yes, if we had that, yes, absolutely.
And so you really kind of have to make room in your refrigerator with the bones, because I would imagine the bones would be like a third of this.
The bones would be about 3 inches above
3
the
inches
meat.
above, okay.
And also, in most cases, the crown roast is between 7 and 8 pounds and has 12 ribs on it.
Okay.
This was
okay.
15 pounds, so the meat part of it is much larger.
I got you.
And that was one of the reasons we could not form a crown with it,
Yes,
because it's so large.
it was so big. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, then we would refrigerate this overnight and put it in the oven the next day at 425 for 20 minutes, and then reduce the temperature to 350.
Okay.
And you do that for an hour and 50 minutes.
Okay.
And then the last hour, you put the stuffing inside the crown.
In the oven.
In the
It's
oven.
In the oven.
And bake it.
Okay.
And bake
okay.
it for an hour. And then at the end, you also cover the ribs with tin foil so they will not burn.
Oh, of course.
And-
That's good.
You take the tin foil off the rib bones the last 15 minutes
All right.
of cooking, and then take it out of the oven, and your stuffing will be with it. Of course, also, a lot of people prefer their stuffing to be baked separately because, like stuffing a turkey or stuffing a crown
Right.
roast, sometimes the stuffing will not get cooked properly into the right temperature.
I got it.
The temperature should be on pork stuffing 155 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, the meat should be 155 degrees
Okay.
Fahrenheit.
Okay.
And at that point, you know that it's done, and you can then enjoy it.
Serve it up. All right. So we have shown you how to prepare this crown roast, and I guess I can set it right here. This would go in the refrigerator, and then da-da! The miracle of cooking things twice. And here we go. I don't know what the best way to. What do you need? Oh, wait.
And my knife.
Where are the little things? Oh, you've got them?
I got 'em, yeah.
You got 'em. Okay, good job, good
These
job.
are chopped frills. These particular ones are made for chicken legs, lamb, rack of lamb, or pork chops,
Okay.
or a crème roast. I get these at Bed Bath & Beyond, and they're not real expensive, $9.95, and there's
You get a bunch.
a bunch.
You could do 3 crown rib roasts.
Right.
Okay, but this is the fun part.
All right, then we want to separate.
Oh, and that cooks so easily. It cuts so easily,
Yeah.
Tommy.
And-
Oh, it's beautiful. Oh, my goodness. We're having lunch after. Wish you were here.
It makes a good presentation to put the frills on the meat.
Oh, look at that. I get to hold it. I get to hold it. Woohoo! This is fabulous. They're like little soldiers, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here we go with another one. Oh, my goodness.
And again, this is the loin part of the roast, and that is the most tender piece of meat that you can get.
All right, well, let's don't cut any more.
Okay.
And I think, look, folks, is that not the most fabulous thing you've ever seen? Thank you. And we've got dressing
Yeah.
in that pot back here on the stove.
That's
We've
a
even
huge-
got dressing. Okay, sorry. Here I go. Ooh-wee. Dressing right here. So we truly are having lunch, folks. Thank
And-
you for watching. Stay tuned for next month.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Ranger Stadium with a full stadium.
We've lost enough people and we've suffered enough damage.
In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated.
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot.
Now it's up to you.